Hey guys, hope we're doing good. Got a little video, got some notes to get through. Stay with me here. I'm gonna go fast, but that's the nice thing about a video is you can stop, rewind, play again. You can go back and see. All right, we're gonna talk about function notation. It's just another way to write y equals. It's basically what this is. Function notation. What this looks like is you will have f of x. Notice I said f of x. So what that sounds like is f of x. That's how you would say it if you were to say it out loud. What this is the same as y equals. It's the same thing as y equals. And you've seen y equals before. You've worked with y equals. It's the same thing. So when we go through this, just if you get confused, just think that's the same thing as saying y equals. An example. All right. If my thing doesn't get unfrozen, here we go. Example. I could say y equals 3x plus 2. The same thing would be f of x equals 3x plus 2. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So there's a good example, and you can see that. I know my handwriting's terrible. Just bear with me going through here. Okay, part A right here. Part A. Find the following from the graph. So I'm looking at the graph. It says f of x. Excuse me. It says f of 6. That's the way that would be worded. So in this case, x equals 6. All right. Well, if x equals 6, let's look at our graph. So I'm looking here. There's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, when x is 6, what does y equal? Well, negative 1, 2, 3. So at f of 6, what is equal to negative 3? Because that's the same, again, that's the same thing as saying y equals negative 3. Okay, now what about f of x equals 0? Again, f of x is the same thing as y equals. F of x is the same thing as y equals. So that's like saying y equals 0. Y equals 0. Well, where does y equal 0? Okay, again, this is our y-axis. This is our x-axis. So where does y equal 0? Okay, there's y equals 0. Well, that would be at the point 1, 2, 3. Negative 3, 0. So where does it equal 0? When x is negative 3. So it just so happens in that example, both of those are negative 3. Okay, and ask, are these points, is this relation, remember, a relation, your set of coordinates, is this a relation, a function? How can we tell, especially when we have a graph? Vertical line test. Vertical line test. So if you pass that vertical line test, you're going through here, vertical line, are there any repeating x's? And the answer is no, so that is a function. Why is it a function? Passes the VLT. All right, moving on. Now we got a mapping, so another representation of a relation. It's a mapping. Okay, first question right here. It says f of x equals 8. F of x equals 8. That's like saying y equals 8. Again, that's like saying y equals 8. Okay, I'm looking at, okay, here's my x coordinates, here's my y coordinate. Y equals 8, so here's 8. The x value that goes with that, right there, is 4. So x is equal to 4. Okay, f of 3, all right? Look at this, f of 3. Well, in this case, x is equal to 3, so look at your x values and go to 3. There it is, right there. X is 3. Well, okay, 3 goes over here to 3, and it also goes to 5. So the answer to this question is 3, or it could be 5, because, again, there's two different ones. All right, now looking at the mapping. Is this a function? The answer is no. Why? Because of that right there. There's two different, that 3, that x coordinate is repeated. You got 3, 3, and you got 3, 5. So why is it x is repeated. Okay? The 3 is repeated. The 3 is repeated. Okay. Last part of this thing here. If I can get this working. Okay, at the bottom here, find the following from the relation. So now the relation is given to us as a set of coordinates. Okay, let's go through it. F of -2. So when x is equal to -2 right here. X is equal to 2. Looking at right there, because it tells you f of x. Well, it says f of -2. So x is equal to 2. So go look at your x coordinates. There's an x. There's an x. There's an x. And there's the x. Okay. X is -2 right here. X is -2 right here. So when x is -2, y is 7. Alright? Now this one right here, this is like saying, so again, f of x is like saying y equals -3. Y equals -3. Okay, let's look at our y's. We got y, 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 right there. Oh, there we go, -3. When y is -3, x is equal to 5. When y is -3, x is equal to 5. Okay, let's see. Is this relation a function? Is it a function? Here we go. X is 5, x is -2, x is 7, x is 5. 5 and 5. It's repeating. So the answer is no. X is repeated. Terrible, terrible handwriting. Alright, that's the front side. Next page. Get myself up right here. Alright, part D. Find the following from the given function. Okay, it says h of n is equal to -2. H of n is equal to -2, and it tells you h of n right here. Here's the equation. Again, this is like saying y equals -2. So plug that in right there. H of n is equal to 2, so you're going to put -2 equals -2n plus 4. Again, I just substituted -2 in for h of n. Okay, so now we got an equation. We got to solve this equation. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 4 from both sides. Again, there's your equal side. Subtract 4, what you do to one side, do to the other. So you got -6 equals, and on this side, those will cancel out. You got -2n. Last step, I'm going to divide by -2n. What you do to one side, you got to do to the other. Okay, the negatives would cancel. Those -2's would cancel. Oops, sorry. No, not an n. Don't divide by -2 and just divide by -2. Equals, all we got is n. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, so n is equal to 3. N is equal to 3. How do you know you're right? Take that 3 and plug it back in. Take that 3 and plug it back in. So that would be -2 times 3. That's -6 plus 4. -6 plus 4. So I'm looking right here. -6 plus 4 would be -2. That checks out. That's good. Okay, the second part of this. It says h of 5. So that's like, so right there, x is equal to 5. X is equal to 5. So plug that, n. In this case, in this scenario, it's n. N is equal to 5. So plug it in. I got, I'm going to say h of 5 is equal to -2 times, what is n? N is 5. Remember, which is what we just wrote up here. N is 5. So I'm going to plug it in, and then don't forget your plus 4. All right, here we go. We're going to do this. -2 times 5, that's -10 plus 4. That is equal to -10 plus 4. That's -6. That's -6. So h of 5 is equal to -6. Right there. Okay, last part of the notes. Almost done. Stay with me. Don't stop the video. Stay with me. All right, here we go. Find the following from the given functions. We got f of 2 plus g of -1. So in this case right here, and here's your functions over here. Here's your equations. There's the f, there's the g. So right here, x is equal to 2, and right here, x is equal to -1. All right, we're going to plug those in. I'm going to take that, I'm going to plug it in over here, and I'm going to take that, I'm going to plug it in over here. So let's do the f function first. So I got f of 2 equals, and I'm looking right here, I'm looking at this function. F of 2 equals 3 times, what is 2? Again, we just wrote x equals 2. So 3 times 2 minus 1, which that's 6 minus 1, that's 5. So f of 2 equals 5. Alright? So keep that in mind. F of 2 is equal to 5. F of 2 is equal to 5. Okay, let's do the g. X is equal to -1, so we're going to use this function right here. So g of -1 equals 5 minus, what is x? Well, again, this is g of x. So if that -1 is right there, I know it's -1. Minus -1. Okay, we can do that. 5 minus -1, those become positive, so that's like 5 plus 1, which is, come on, don't freeze on me now. Come on. Come back to life. Hold on. 5 plus 1 is 6. Okay, so g of -1 is going to be 6. G of -1 is going to be 6. So that's 6. G of -1 equals 6. So so there's the second part of it. Now, let's look back over here. It says f of 2 plus g of -1. Well, f of 2 we said was 5. Plus g of -1 we said was 6. So 5 plus 6, the answer to this problem would be 11. Take back here, 11. Okay, those are the notes. Thank you for staying with me. We'll see you tomorrow. Hope you have a great evening.